My journey with PTSL, post-tubal ligation syndrome, on a Woman Spark podcast. Welcome aboard the podcast, A Woman Spark with Janik, a place to show women how powerful they are and remind them of the spark that they carry, the strength that gets us up every single day, a place to feel seen and understood when we don't fully have what it takes to get back up on a hard day. This podcast is to help women heal and become the best version of themselves during the roller coaster of life. We're building a community of women that want to help one another and inspire each other to become stronger and more united as we were born to be. And that community is called Be Guided, Be Inspired. You can find it at www.beguidedbeinspired.com. Today is a more personal podcast. I was going to record another one, and we ended up not being able to because of the time zone. This person is in another country, 7 hours difference to where I am today, and we didn't connect. So for me, this is a sign that I need to share a personal story, that I need to share also another reason why I decided to start this podcast, another time where I didn't fully feel seen and understood. This goes back to 2014 when I had my tubal ligation. So I had my two children. My two children are beautiful girls. They are now 12 and 13. But back then, they were born premature at 34 weeks, both of them. And I always knew I always just wanted to have two children. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. I was going to have the tubal ligation. And I know myself very well. I know that I would easily get swayed by wanting another one a few years later. And so I was offered the vasectomy by my husband, but I refused. And I said, no, this is a journey I want to take because I know myself enough that I know I don't want any more children. I want to focus my time and energy on the two beautiful daughters that I have and our relationship and our family and myself. And so I had the tubal ligation in 2014. All went well. This means in 2014, I was 30 years old. And maybe about, I could say that I vividly remember starting some symptoms that I can relate to this, probably 2 years after, but maybe before, but I would say 2 years after, where I started having perimenopause symptoms like hot flashes, like insomnia, like major mood swings that I didn't have prior to the tubal ligation, major bleeding that accompanied this with my menstrual cycle that would last for weeks on end. So I had the tubal ligation, but I never really associated it with the tubal ligation. All those symptoms didn't feel like they came from that because I was told there was no way that it could be connected together. So I thought, oh, well, I'm having my perimenopause at 32, 33 years old. Oh, well, my mom menopaused at 40, my grandmother menopaused at 40. Maybe that's how it's meant to be. So I didn't question it any further. I keep up with my regular life, and I make do with the symptoms that I have, and I keep going. But they are not constant at that point. They are just sporadic until August 2020, where I go to the restaurant with friends and I end up hemorrhaging, having a lot of blood coming out while sitting at the restaurant. So I'm having to go to the bathroom. My husband has had to go and buy the necessary pads for me to be able to get out of the bathroom because I was just bleeding continuously. So I went to see my doctor and she said, oh, it's probably because you're on a NuvaRing, which is a ring that it keeps you from having children. It gives you hormones and it balanced me out. prior to this, but she said maybe you need to try to take it out and let yourself bleed, because I was taking it continuously. So without being able to ovulate, so therefore no periods. So she told me that possibly this was a sign of my body telling me that I needed to take it out for possibly a couple of months, just to let my body readapt and then start again. January 2021, February 2021 comes and major pain starts happening. March, massive pain. I go see my doctor. She sends me a note to go see a gynecologist. Early April, intense pain. I can't move. I can't move anymore. I'm debilitated. I'm lying in my bed. I can't get up. So I go to the emergency room, where I have some blood tests done, urine tests done, scans done. All is normal. I even get a gynecological test done and all is normal. I'm not pregnant. But on the scan, I see that my clips from my tubal ligation are no longer on my tubes. They are somewhere else. So I find that a little bit suspicious. I'm given morphine. I'm given all the stuff to help me just get better and feel better. Go back home. A few days later, maybe a week later, I have to go back to the hospital. I can't walk. I can't move. I'm in massive pain. Do another scan and all those tests again. The scans can't come back and the clips have moved a little bit. They're no longer in the same place. And yet again, just like the first time, I'm told, it's in your head. Don't worry. You're going to be fine. May comes along, same thing. June comes along, I managed to get same thing, and I managed to get an appointment with my gynecologist, who then prescribes a mini operation to see if I have endometriosis. So yet again, all the tests, all the scans come back normal, except for the scans that show that the clips have yet again moved every single time I go. But they don't move very much, but they move a little bit, which doesn't seem normal. So I start reading on this, and I read about PTSL, which is post-tubal ligation syndrome. There are other women out there who have the same thing. They get a tubal ligation. There's many ways to get a tubal ligation. And I have to say, I was lucky. I just had the clips on. Even if they're the ones, which you'll soon find out, who cause a lot of pain, but it's not the only thing. Some women get their tubes taken out completely, and so they don't have a chance to maybe have some freedom from this pain or from all these troubles that they're living. So with that said, August comes along, August 2021. I have the mini non-invasive operation to check if I have endometriosis. Nothing. So I'm told, go home. It's going to be better. I've burnt a little something here and a little something there. It may help. We're going to give you some medicine. We're going to try other things. And for the next 2 years after that, it keeps happening. I go see chiropractors, osteopath, physiotherapists to help me. Maybe it's just a physical ailment. I try a nutritionist to see if it's something I'm eating. And for the next 2 years after that, that's what happens. I have a colonoscopy, 2 colonoscopies done. Several blood tests, several urine tests, several different types of scan, an MRI. And yet every single time from August 2020 to June 2023, I am told it's in my head, it's impossible, and that there is nothing to do. And I try a million different types of medicine, and nothing works. I'm here in Canada. In Canada, we have a healthcare that is free, yet not free because we pay with our income tax, but it's free. so we can have access to it. With that, I love our system. It's flawed, but it is good to a certain extent. I would have to say that the female reproductive system needs to be changed. The education that the doctors get on the reproductive systems of the woman, the hormones that we have, the different phases of our cycles through life as a woman, whether it's getting a menstrual cycle, whether it's perimenopause, whether it's giving birth, being pregnant, menopause, a lot of it is still quite unknown to doctors. They barely learn much in school. Back to my journey. After all of that, I decided to look into other doctors abroad. I found an amazing doctor in North Carolina, USA. He was godsend. He did the tubal ligation reversal, which, like I said earlier, I was lucky because I still had my tube. So I was able to reverse the tubal ligation and have my hormones pass again and the liquids pass again. And you know what? And it's not the same for everyone. And I am not saying that this is for everybody who is living with PTSL. But for me, immediately after the reversal, it took all of the perimenopause symptoms that I had away. It was all gone. All gone. No more insomnia. No more hot flashes, no more mood swings, no more. I even had depression. I even had anxiety. That all went away slowly but surely right after the tubal ligation. The few things that remained, because he couldn't find the clips. The clips were still inside me. He couldn't find them. So I come back home. I realized that the pain is still there. And I'm starting to have an autoimmune illness. So I smell like onions. I get rashes on my skin, which are not disappearing through seeing dermatologists, through creams, through so many nutritionists, changing my diet, doing everything. And through those 4 years, here's an important thing. There were many days where I couldn't move. I was working from my bed, yes, but I decided that I was going to fight for myself and for my family, because there was no way I was going to let myself go and not be around my daughters and see them be raised or give up on myself. So you know what? To anyone who is listening out there, never give up on yourself, because you are worth it. No matter how little you feel seen or how little you feel heard by whoever you speak to, no matter how much you're told it's in your head, you are in your own body. You are the one living with what you're living with. And I want you to know that I believe you. I believe that you have what you have and that you are the master of your body and your mind, and you need to do something about it. And if you need someone to talk to, I am here. I am here to listen, and I am here to talk to you and tell you that you are right and you need to follow your intuition and your gut and fight for yourself. Back to the story, I come back from the US. I start and all these symptoms for the autoimmune autoimmune sickness have been there before. They've been there before the reversal of the tubal ligation. So I start fighting for myself again. Now we're in December 2022, and I've had that tubal ligation. I get back home 30th of January, 2023. I wake up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m., unable to move, unable to sit, stand, or even lie on my back or my side. I'm screaming in my bed. My husband calls the ambulance, and I'm taken to the hospital yet again. where I'm given only morphine, and I see specialists over specialists, even in that emergency visit. I see all the necessary specialists that tell me that it's impossible, that the clips are the problem, that it's in my head, that it must be psychosomatic. And yet again, I'm left with some medication to go back home and deal with my pain on my own. So this is where my second fight starts. My second fight starts with looking and talking to people around me to see if they know anyone who is a specialist in the pelvic area, a gynecologist who is specialist in the pelvic area, who is open to any possibility. I ask and I ask, and I end up finding this one person, my angel, who introduced me to my gynecological angel. So I meet with this doctor, and I come in with my 2-inch binder full of all my medical history from the last previous 3 years that I had kept to show her that I wasn't faking this, that it was not in my head. And I go into her office and she says, "You know what? I don't fully believe what you're saying, but I have had another client, another patient who's had a problem with the stérilet. The stérilet is the device that you can put in to avoid having babies, which had migrated into her tubes and caused immense amount of pain. And so she accepted to do an operation on me to go and find them. And through more and more research, I had spoken to other doctors who told me that there was maybe a possibility, and this doctor also confirmed that it could be that the clips could be stuck in my omentum. And even the doctor in the US had said, I think it could be stuck in my omentum. And I had spoken to several doctors, the one that did the reversal, another doctor in Texas, and the gynecological doctor that I saw. And she said, you know what? I'm going to give you this operation. We're going to go and see if it is the case that you do have them stuck in your omentum. June 1st, 2023, the day of my relief. The day of my relief because I have my operation. They sedate me for 30 minutes because they think it's going to take longer. But within 5 minutes, the gynecologist finds both clips stuck in my omentum, takes them out, puts them in a nice jar that I can take home and say that today I am free of those clips, of the pain, of my autoimmune, all the symptoms that I had are now gone. They are now gone, and I am back to normal. Today we're in 2025. Now, here's one thing. The operations are not just, it is magic. It did cure me. It did take away all the pain. It took all the perimenopause symptoms, all those operations. So 3 operations in 3 years. But here's one last thing I need you to understand, is that your body will suffer from doing operations. And so physios, chiros, osteopaths, they are important. And if you find that the ones you're seeing are not doing the trick, find one that is specialized in the pelvic area. There are physios, there are nurses and osteopaths that are specialized in the pelvic area and that will help you regain full capacity of your body and stop living in pain and regain your life. It is possible. And I want to say to all of you out there, you're seen and understood no matter what your situation is. And there is hope. And maybe your tubes have been cut. Maybe your situation is completely different. Go see doctors. But if you want to share with me. on our platform at Be Guided, Be Inspired. And you can go on our website at www.beguidedbeinspired.com. I want us to write each other and connect together. And I'm not going to be your savior. I won't have the solution necessarily for your problem, but sometimes feeling like we're heard can make all the difference. So if you want to get involved with the Be Guided, Be Inspired community, or you want to share what kind of impact you've had on others, or you're currently going through a tough time, come and meet us on the platform at www.beguidedbeinspired.com. Write us and we'll connect together. Let's change the world of women, one conversation at a time. Keep sparkling, you beautiful women. See you next time. Have a nice day. Bye.